because it is New Year's. We're going to look back at the worst and best moments of the sports world in 2020.
Yeah.
That was a tough segment.
Starting off with the worst, of course, because we want to end on a high
There's a
note.
lot of bad things that happened.
There is a lot.
Quite a
last year.
few.
You will be happy to hear that we did have trouble, though, thinking of, like, some of the bad.
Super
Sports specific ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sports
Was a little
specific.
bit- I mean,
a
if
lot
we
of
went-
bad things have happened.
If
in
we
the
want to talk
world
about
this year.
2020,
If we just
can,
went
but-
2020 in general, it would have been.
Yeah, we could
Correct.
talk for hours.
Yeah.
There's a lot
So,
to
It
talk
was.
Number one worst moment 2020 is the 2020 49ers situation.
Yes.
This was a team that was in the
And
Super Bowl last
number
year.
one as in the first on the list, not number one as
Yeah,
in
yeah,
like
these
the
are-
top worst
Yeah,
moment.
correct.
about. Yeah, this is just an
Yeah.
unranked list.
Yeah.
Just all awful moments.
Just want to
Correct.
clarify that.
Good
Yeah.
call. Good
Because
call.
it's kind of hard to rank them because
They're all
there's
bad.
there's a lot. There's
Well, there's
I mean,
one
there's
that stands
one
out
that
above the
stands
others,
out,
but
for
yeah,
sure.
but
But
that'll
yeah.
be the last one. But yeah, this is a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, and as of like week 2, I think when they played the Giants, I want to say they lost
One of the
everybody.
teams at MetLife.
Yeah.
Half their team got hurt.
They lost everybody. Nick Bosa was out for the season. It's real unfortunate.
Yeah,
And how they've played with their backups looks promising for the next couple of years, but absolute disaster.
Because I remember week 3 they had to go back to MetLife to play the Jets.
Yeah, because they played back to
Yeah.
back, and they were all complaining about the field.
Yeah, within
stuff.
those 2 weeks, they kind of just lost their entire team. And
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate.
Correct. And up next for the worst moment is I think Boston sports might be dead for a little while because we've lost a
about
lot.
Dead.
Listen,
But yeah,
we've
it
had a
was
lot
rough
over the
year.
past
It-
20 years.
It has been a very tough year.
It's been rough.
As
Mookie
I
left,
Yeah,
won a champion.
I remember.
won a
I
championship
am a
in
member
LA.
of everything except
The Patriots.
Fan.
The Bruins just lost Chara. We lost Krug earlier in the season.
Yeah. And then
Uh,
Brady, obviously.
Brady left. Mookie left.
That I'm happy about. I'm happy about Brady.
You know,
Yeah.
Fucking
Well,
Mookie
fuck you
did
then.
hurt me. A
Brady
lot,
makes
though.
both lists. Actually, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Brady's on my other list of best things that have happened this year. But
Boston sports have struggled. It's about
Yeah.
time. You know,
Yeah. Well,
they have
Patriots-
to at some point.
yeah,
so.
the
mean,
Red Sox
Patriots
were really
weren't-
bad. Patriots were not. That
Patriots
great.
weren't doing anything in the playoffs last season anyway. We knew that.
Correct.
It was,
Correct.
It was tough.
Well, that actually
And then
counted
this year-
as 2020. That was
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
why-
why that was
that's why I brought
very
it up.
beginning.
And then this season, it's just been not good.
Yeah,
at all.
absolute dog shit.
Celtics disappointed in the playoffs in the bubble. Bruins disappointed. You know, it's just
It was
the
bad.
Red Sox season was just
Yeah,
with
Hey, the first game though. The
Yeah,
first
that
game of
was
the Red
great.
Sox season.
first
Very
game was
first game.
fantastic, super
absolutely
promising.
Shit on the Orioles.
That
It
was
a great
everything was so
time.
promising.
Yeah.
and then from there it was
Yeah,
just
absolute travesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 9 doubles
Unfortunate.
that game. It was a good time.
Number 3, I think, is a moment that I'll remember forever. March 11th was the day that the NBA season got paused.
Yeah.
Also, Tom Hanks got corona like an hour before,
yeah.
and then there was like a checklist of everything that had happened that day,
Yeah.
starting at like 9 a.m. Like someone else tested positive, and then like fucking Tom Hanks got it, and then the NBA stopped
Because fucking Rudy Gobert, there's the clip of Rudy Gobert fucking
touching the
Touching the
microphones,
mics, like
Oh,
playing as a
Jesus.
joke, and then he was the one that ended up
Yeah.
testing positive for COVID,
Correct.
and then the NBA shut down, and within a week there were no sports. For
Yep.
Yeah,
a
that
solid few
period
months.
of time
Everything.
when we didn't have sports was
Well, and
tough.
then
Those
there
were
was that
dark
time
times. Those
fucking-
were dark times.
Pat McAfee was talking about the AFL, which is the Australian Football League,
Yeah.
and he was talking about how it's a thing, and I was like, okay, cool. So I watched that night, and I was like, yo, this sport is fucking awesome. And then they got paused the next day after I watched them, and I was like,
Ooh.
that's
That's
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
So that sucked. I watched a little bit of them when they came back, but and then other sports came back, so
Yeah.
a day goes by.
Yeah,
and
at
you
this
forget
point,
about it.
every sport has come back, but it's still that first.
But that
delay.
day-
that first delay.
Yeah,
was that
I remember being at UConn when it happened, and I was like, holy fuck, like this is dead
I'm
serious.
like,
And
I'm
like,
literally like it was baseball was just starting to happen.
yeah, exactly.
Just
It was-
got
that was
taken
they
away
were
from
in
me.
training camp, right?
Yeah, spring.
Yeah.
They were in spring training at that point. So
Yeah,
it just
that's what was brand training. The next thing on the list is another terrible thing about 2020 is the fact that Dan Snyder still has a job at the end of this year.
Yeah. Didn't something new come out about him like last
So
week?
he's suing one of his employees for like leaking out information about how big of a douchebag he is.
Oh.
He's not suing him for slander because that would make it
Make it so it's
that would
false.
Yeah.
that would be that he's spreading
So
misinformation.
like she or he signed like a non-disclosure agreement
Probably.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
broke that agreement.
Pretty
Yeah.
much,
So he's
yeah.
like, "Hey, I know I'm a
Yeah.
jackass, but you're not supposed to tell people I'm a jackass."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I paid you off so that you wouldn't tell people.
Correct.
you're a
Yeah, you're still
jackass. So I'm
doing
gonna
it.
have to ask for that money back.
Yeah. So Dan Snyder, piece of shit.
Correct.
I've said it since probably our second episode.
Yeah, if you've been listening,
So
all
fuck
along,
Dan Snyder.
You know we are very against
And of
Dan
course,
Snyder.
2020, everyone we lost, especially people that don't have big names, you know what I mean, like due to the coronavirus pandemic. But some of the ones that were important to us are just in the sports world. Chadwick Boseman, obviously, big for us. We're all huge Marvel fans.
Yeah.
John Hubbard was a wrestler. He just died this past week. Bob Gibson, Diego Maradona, right? Is that how you say it? Yeah. Okay, good. Wanted to make sure. Don Shula, I think he's the winningest coach.
He has the win.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
the most wins
The
in
Dolphins.
season history.
Yep.
Dolphins, yep.
Alex Trebek, and of course, another moment I'll never forget is Kobe Bryant dying.
Yeah,
That
Kobe
was-
dying was like probably.
That was the very beginning of everything. just
Yeah, that too.
falling
Yeah,
apart.
correct.
I think that was like the hardest hitting death of like a
It was
celebrity for me.
absolutely
Like,
out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was very surreal.
We were
Yeah,
playing.
You couldn't really like wrap your mind around it.
We were playing football, which we did before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
With a bunch of people every Sunday, and the people on the opposite side of the field of us that we weren't playing with us shouted like, "Yo, Kobe Bryant died," and we all stopped and were like, "What?" And we all ran to the sidelines to check our phones, and that was
Yeah.
fucking insane for sure. Were you there, Isaac? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
figured
came
you
with
were.
us
Correct.
every time.
Yeah, because you fucking blindsided Isaac that one time. Stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah, obviously, those are the worst moments of 2020.